So good. Jose Rodriguez here. As I promised you, in the last 2 videos that you viewed, I hope you did in the correct order, you printed with just the driver controlling color. That is the simplest way to print. It's a very good way to print if you are not very familiar with color management, okay? That is something that requires a bit of a learning curve to fathom in your mind and to kind of get it. So the easiest way is just let the driver control color, and it works best if you're using papers designed for a particular printer, whether it's Epson or Canon. But then you get to the point where you start experimenting with other papers, or maybe you just want to extract the last bit of quality out of the process, and you choose to allow the application to control color, okay? If you do that, you have to turn off. You have to tell the driver, hey, I don't need your meddling anymore. So don't meddle with color management. Turn yourself off. Just worry about the paper size, the paper type, high quality, standard quality, whatever. Okay. But don't mess with color, because now I'm going to allow Photoshop, Lightroom, Capture One, QImage to control color through what? An ICC profile made specifically for that printer, paper, and ink combination. That is the way to achieve the maximum color fidelity, rendition, whatever you want to call it, out of your printer setup, out of your combination of printers, papers, and inks. Now, what if you get to the point where you still cannot get it? I mean, you just cannot get it. You forget to turn off color management when you're letting the application control color, or maybe you end up with double profiling and your color is all of a sudden off and you can't remember what you did. Well, enter QImage Ultimate. The newest version of it takes care of that for you. I'm going to give you a quick demo. I'm not going to be able to cover everything, but you will love what this new version of QImage can do for you. And I don't mean for you to grow lazy or anything like that and just stop worrying about the settings, just because it's going to do many things for you automatically. You still have to be on top of things, but you don't have to worry so much anymore. So let's go ahead and jump into QImage and check it out. Okay, so here we are in QImage. We're going to go ahead and load just a standard image here. It doesn't really matter what it is. We'll do a new one of the newer ones that I have. And so we're going to go ahead and print this, and we want it to print perfectly without us having to worry about it. Now, what are the things you have to cover? You have to make sure that if you're going to let the printer driver control color, that you don't let the editing application, in this case it's QImage, editing and printing, control color. That will result in double profiling. Either way, if I want QImage to control color, then I don't want the driver for that particular printer to also control color. But I may forget to turn something on or off in either application, right? So enter QImage Ultimate. Let's go ahead and go through a series of these steps, and you will see how this application will make sure that you don't make mistakes. So what I want to do first is I'm going to mess things up. I'm going to cause a total disarray in the driver. So I'm going to go ahead and click on properties just for now. And I'm going to click borderless. I'm going to change the paper to some other odd paper. Matte photo paper, standard. Yeah, that's good. We'll change the paper size to A3 plus. And yeah, that's enough meddling, I think. What else can we do? Oh yeah, we'll change color intensity manual adjustment to none. Leave it at none. All right. And over here, I'm going to go ahead and switch to some other paper, glossy type paper. And notice what happens. Now I have a total mismatch. My application here is showing A3 plus, okay? And it is showing the Pro 100 It's showing glossy photo paper. Let printer manage color. But I got this angry little triangle here that's telling me something is not quite right. Something is not matched correctly. So that's kind of giving me a hint to go back to the driver and check to see just what it is that is not matching. So if you see that little triangle, make sure you check your driver properties. So click on that and let's just see what it is. We want to try to match everything here to what we have here. So of course, Pro 100, yeah, that matches. Glossy photo paper. What do we have chosen? Glossy photo paper. So far, so good. What could it be? What could it be? 13 by 19, A3 plus, 13 by 19, A3 plus. And let's see what else we got. Let's check here and see what happens. It's telling me, let printer driver manage color. So I assume if we let the printer driver manage color, then as we learned in the previous videos, then the color intensity manual adjustment needs to be set to either driver matching or ICM. So let's see what it is set at. Okay, set at ICM now. I'm going to click OK. And look at that. It's back to green. Now, I think in this case, it wanted to make sure that we went back and just double check. Lucky for us, everything was set correctly. Isn't that nice? So let's go ahead and do something here. Let's go ahead and really challenge this application. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to none. As if I was going to let QImage control color via an ICC profile. Okay, let's see what happens. Keep your eyes on this area here, folks. Did you see that? Driver color matching settings have been auto applied. So I made an error because I told QImage to let the printer driver manage color. And then I went mistakenly and I set it to none. Well, QImage automatically set it back to the correct setting for me. It prevented me from making a fatal mistake that would result in double profiling. Isn't that amazing? Let's go back and double check. I could do this all day long and QImage will always interfere in my behalf and set it to the correct setting. There you go, ICM. I could set it to none again. And when I close the driver, boom, hey, you dummy, look what you did. Printer driver color matching settings have been auto-applied yet again. What are you doing? Why do you keep doing this? Let's go ahead and check again. Bingo. Set to ICM. You see that? So that is an automatic color management system. Now let's go ahead and let QImage control color via an ICC profile. Now what would we have to do to the driver? We would have to then manually turn off or set color matching to none. So now we're going to tell QImage to take over the color management duties and use an ICC profile that matches what paper? Glossy photo paper. Let's go ahead and change it to luster. I like luster. All right, so now we're printing on luster paper, letter size. The printer is still controlling color, and we're going to go ahead and change that to allow QImage to control color through a profile that matches Photo Paper Pro Luster. But how do we know what profile to use? Well, before we had to manually choose the profile. In this new version of QImage Ultimate, it has a built-in feature that will suggest the correct profile for you. So we're going to click on the little tool icon here. This new window opens up, and normally you would go ahead and then search for your own profile, just like we normally do. As you can see, there's a ton of profiles. Well, we don't need to do that any longer. There's two ways to handle that. You can handle it here by clicking on the little magnifying glass. It says suggest and list profiles in order of relevance to current printer and media. So basically, whatever the printer and media you chose is going to then sift through all of the profiles that I happen to have, load it, and then list the most likely ones that I should be using. And in the case of a Canon paper, because I'm choosing an actual Canon paper, it will probably nail it. It will probably tell me exactly which profile to use. Let's go ahead and click on that and cross our fingers. And sure as can be, Canon Pro Luster, the Luster 1/2 Photo Paper Pro Luster. Wow, so that's kind of foolproof. Let's go ahead and change to a different paper, semi-gloss. And let's see, we got my previous user-defined size that I was using. That's why it keeps going back to that. So we're now on semi-gloss paper. We're going to make sure that, look at that. I choose semi-gloss here, and the driver is switched over to semi-gloss as well. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Okay, cross your fingers again. Let's click on this. And semi-gloss is chosen for us. We'll click open. Boom, done. Let's really try to fool it here. Let's choose, Let's see what else we got on the upper section. Platinum N. Let's go ahead and choose that one. Oh, we got a mismatch here. So we need to go back and check to see what's going on. Will the previous incorrect profile load? I still have a triangle, and you saw that little message here. Let's go ahead and check. Look at that. Photo paper, Platinum N. Set that to high. Why not, right? Letter size. And now we got the green check mark. That means it's good to go. Oh boy, if the suggested profile happens to match that, then we pretty much have an automatic system here. Let's check and see. Everybody cross fingers, drum roll, maestro. Click. What does that say, folks? Canon Pro 100, Canon Pro 100, 1/2 Photo Paper Pro Platinum N. Beautiful, beautiful. And again, did it set the driver settings correctly? Let's go ahead and look. This is a crucial step right here. It must be set to none, and sure enough, it is. Wonderful. So there you go. Pretty much automatic settings. Now, what if you're using a custom-made profile? What they suggest that you do is that when you create that profile or someone else creates it, and for instance, let's assume that it is a luster paper, and you're going to use it on the Canon, you should name it this, Photo Paper Pro Luster. Okay? And then after that, name it whatever paper it really is and any other identifying aspects of that particular paper. That way, when you get the suggestion, it'll show you all of your Photo Paper Pro Luster, because that's the paper choice that you have to choose for that particular other manufacturer's luster paper. And it will give you a very, very close match for that particular, even a custom profile. It will show up on that suggested list of profiles. So again, it's not 100%, but you will not have to sift through a ton of other profiles if you are like me with 13 printers on board. So take advantage of that. Again, I hope you enjoyed the last 3 videos, and all I can tell you is that this is a lot of fun. This is a fascinating hobby and craft. So make sure you get into it the proper way. Don't jump into it without a little bit of prior training and education. And that's what I'm trying to do here for you guys that are getting into this. Otherwise, you'll be disappointed and you will leave. And that's the last thing that I want to see happen. Someone to get into this craft and then in a huff leave it because they cannot get the results that they expected to get. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. As always, happy printing, everybody. Bye-bye. Gotta have some coffee.